Hello guys, this is Trinity Storm here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do 5th part of Naruto the Evolution Bloodline. If you enjoy this video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Now wasting no more time, let's start the story.
Kurenai noticed the look on her students' faces when she arrived at her team's training grounds with some slips of paper. Even in the ever-enigmatic Shino, the determination was unmistakable. The team thanked her and placed the slips of paper in their pouches. Kurenai couldn't help but worry about the fate of her team. They were powerful, but she knew there was always someone stronger. She just hoped they'd make it. Naruto, unbeknownst to her, was thinking the same thing. He wasn't afraid for himself because he knew he could take on any Genin or Chunin level opponent, but he was afraid for Hinata. But Hinata was unfazed. Her time with Naruto had helped her improve her self-esteem and skills by leaps and bounds. She was self-assured, and it showed. She wasn't, however, overconfident in herself. Confidence is important, but bravado can get you killed. Shino. Shino was Shino. He never showed more emotion than was necessary, at least not when he was with anyone other than his friends. Even though he was still struggling with them, he let some of his emotions show. Later that day, Team 8 was looking for something to do in the village. Finally, Naruto ran into Konohamaru and his friends. Hinata and Shino were also familiar with them, having been brought over by Naruto during training. He had promised to teach them something, so they decided to have some fun at the team's training grounds. Moegi was immediately drawn to Hinata, who was not only a beautiful but also a very effective kunoichi. Udon's logic drew him to Shino, but you never knew with Udon. Naruto has always been a favorite of Konohamaru. Because they had already skipped the academy, the Konohamaru Corps had been wandering Konoha looking for something to do. When they came across Naruto and his team, they challenged them to a game of ninja, which Team 8 gladly accepted. Naruto was chasing down Konohamaru, making sure he wasn't moving too fast because otherwise the game would be pointless, when he heard him cry out in pain. He turned the corner, speeding up, and saw Konohamaru being held by a boy Naruto's age dressed in a black jumpsuit. With cat ears? And what about makeup? Naruto shook said person's doubts about his masculinity and charged to save his friend. In less than a second, he had his right hand ready to snap the black-clad kid's wrist, while his left hand had grabbed his neck and lifted him off the ground. Remove the child. Now. Otherwise, I'll snap your wrist like a twig. Do you understand, Teme? The boy in makeup dropped the child and jumped back. Naruto checked on Konohamaru to make sure he was alright. When he turned around, the other guy had removed the mummy from his back and placed it on the ground. He spoke with arrogance. Oh yeah? You surprised me, tree hugger, but we Suna shinobi aren't weak. I'll demonstrate. While the other guy's apparent sister yelled at the guy for revealing his secret weapon, Naruto appeared bored. Whatever it had been. Naruto accelerated once more, this time taking a kunai in each hand and walking behind the arrogant boy, kunai placed on the side of his temple. I'm not sure what your secret weapon is, but it won't matter if I stab my kunai in your temple, catboy. Aside from the child you were holding? He's the grandson of the Hokage. Do you want to begin a new shinobi war, Baka? Or are you more concerned with stealing your sister's makeup? Said boy appeared to relax a little and let go of his bandaged item. Naruto checked to make sure he couldn't get it back before leaping over him and landing in front of the duo, facing them. Now that you're a Suna shinobi, I'm expecting to see your passes and reason for visit, even though I'm guessing you're here for the Chunin exams. The sister of the black-dressed man, a girl with short blonde hair and a fan on her back, took out her pass and showed it to Naruto. Behind Naruto was the rest of his team, who appeared calm but were in a stance from which they could easily draw their weapons. Naruto took another look at the pass before speaking again. What about you, makeup boy? I'd like to see your pass as well. Yours and your irritated friends. Yeah, you on the tree. The pass was shown by a red-headed boy who shined down from the tree, while the other claimed it was war paint and not makeup. Naruto made fun of the guy once more. Are you going to war during the Chunin exams? Naruto noticed the team's twitch but chose not to speak about it. But, like your sister and brother, you should learn proper manners. Though I would honestly prefer your sister's manners. We don't want you to become that bloodthirsty, do we? Meanwhile, Kyuubi recognized the power of the Ichibi no Shukaku and warned Naruto about him. He also stated that Shukaku appeared to be on the verge of breaking out. As the rest of the team turned to leave, the redhead, now known as Gaara, turned to Naruto and spoke in a creepy monotone voice. Can you tell me your name, Konoha Shinobi? My name is Naruto Uzumaki. At least for the time being. We'll meet again in the Chunin exams, brother Tanuki. The final part was whispered so softly that only those with extremely sensitive hearing could pick it up. Gaara's eyes widened slightly before he glared at Naruto and unleashed his entire ki. Naruto, on the other hand, appeared to be bored and let loose his own. Gaara's eyes widened as he clutched his head. You'll die the next time I see you, Fox. The Suna team quickly left with a shunshin. Naruto turned to his team and instructed them to meet him at their training grounds. Naruto went to the Hokage's office after they left, jumping in through the window. Hokage-sama, there's something we need to talk about. Please secure this room. Sarutobi was well aware that if Naruto addressed him as Hokage, something was wrong. He quickly secured the room. Gigi. The Suna team. They have a Jinchuriki. Worse, his seal doesn't appear to be holding up well. Kyuubi and I could help, but we'll need help holding him down long enough. But that's not the most terrifying aspect. When I accused the Suna team of planning a war, they reacted angrily. It was faint, but I could see and smell it. Isn't it possible, Naruto-kun, that you misread the signs? No, sir. I know what I smell, and it was fear. I'm afraid it will happen during the Chunin exams, possibly near the end. I see. If that's okay with you, I'll ask Jiraiya-kun to come here. Whoop-de-doo. I'll finally meet my long-lost godfather. Bring him here, I want to ask him why he left me here to rot, you asshole. Anyway, there's another thing. You are aware that I have spent a significant amount of time with seals, correct? So I made a sort of breakthrough and finished a few of my father's arrays. Or, more accurately, more than a few, but that's beside the point. The point is that I've already used my seals and arrays on some things, greatly improving them. The majority of my team's weapons. G-san, I extend the same offer to you. Allow me to use my father's and my own knowledge to assist you. Suna will not accompany them, but they will have allies. It's possible that we'll run into trouble and you'll have to fight. I don't want anyone to kill G-san. Please allow me to assist as little as possible. Naruto-kun, my armor has already improved and has served me well. Yes, but no one else knows as much about seals as I do. Please, Gigi, put your trust in me. You are welcome to come see what I've made for everyone and then make your decision. Excellent, well, Naruto-kun, I'll come. But keep in mind that I've met both your father and Jiraiya. Oh, I see. That is precisely the point. Dad, without a doubt, would have finished the arrays. But he never found the time. I finished them in his place. That's the crux of the matter. They are Dad's works. I just finished them. Sandaime sighed as he accompanied Naruto to Team 8's training grounds. The child was brilliant, but he was still a long way from his father. Or so the third thought. Needless to say, his beliefs were violently shattered when he saw the arrays Naruto had used. Grumpily, he accepted Naruto's abilities and allowed Naruto to obtain and work on the old man's armor. While Naruto went to retrieve the armor and begin working on it, the old man explained everything to the team. Everyone appeared to be understanding. Even Anko and Zabuza didn't seem pleased to be killing someone. War is the worst thing that could ever happen. Naruto donned the armor and returned to his apartment. He spread them out, made some clones, and began his inspection after sorting out each and every little piece. He found the seals, analyzed them, and copied them into his sealing book. After that, he sent a clone to one of the few stores where he could buy safely and informed the owner and blacksmith that he would require their services. Another clone told the Sandaime to meet him at the blacksmith's forge. Naruto arrived, carrying scrolls containing the schematics for both the Hokage's old armor and the new one he had begun designing. After obtaining some warm sake and dango, the three men sat down and began a discussion on the specifications of the new armor that lasted well into the night. You name it, we've got it. High-quality steel, chakra-conductive fibers, and deerskin leather. The forge master got some good quality steel and heated it up at Naruto's request. Naruto walked over it, pulled out a kunai, and smirked. What followed astounded both men in the forge. Naruto slit the artery on his left hand from elbow to wrist with his kunai, whispered, "Let's do this, Kaibi," and let his blood flow into the molten metal. The forge master attempted to stop him but was stopped by the Sandaime. Naruto clenched his teeth as his blood flowed into the metal and Kyuubi channeled his Yukai through it. The metal began to glow a blood-red color before heating up even more. The metal was now molten white-hot, but a red glow from the Yukai lingered. Naruto's wound healed in seconds, and he turned to face the Hokage. Kyuubi, as you know, is no longer sealed in my gut. He runs in my family. Literally. You see, blood is the life-giving essence, among other things. Things that provide it with enough power to contain the most powerful of the tailed beasts. Because Kyuubi is in my blood, I let it flow into the metal, allowing Kyuubi's power to flow into the molten metal. Higurashi-san, I'd like to request that a katana be made out of this metal and that I be allowed to test it. You should never channel your chakra into this metal or even hold it for an extended period of time. Neither Kyuubi nor I have a clue what will happen to Kyuubi's Yukai. I'll be here every second of the forging to ensure that everything is in order. After all, I made a point of not channeling more than I could handle. Naruto then spent several hours calmly explaining everything to the poor blacksmith. However, once everything was explained, the man couldn't wait to begin forging the blade. After all, how many blacksmiths can claim to have created demon-inspired weapons? That is not to say he was hasty or careless. He was aware of the dangers, but when Naruto presented them as a challenge and an opportunity to be remembered, he accepted. Naruto and the weaponsmith worked tirelessly on the blade, and Naruto even took the time to learn a few weaponsmithing techniques. Sure, nothing serious, but he could now tell if a weapon had a serious problem and how to repair some of them. He surmised that it was an interesting art that required not only strength but also knowledge, patience, and an eye for detail. It is unfortunate that the fruits of this art will always cause harm to someone. The day was finally finished after a day and a half. Naruto desired to test it, but instead chose to keep it sealed in a scroll for the time being. After all, the Chunin exams were the next day, so Team 8 needed to make sure they were prepared. Naruto had spent some time using his clones to learn about the rest of the teams, or at least Konoha's teams, because he couldn't find the other teams without raising suspicion. He was surprised to learn that the other rookie teams would attempt to pass the exams, though he wasn't surprised to learn that they lacked the training that his team did. For a brief moment, he imagined that the Junin senseis were in some way competing with one another via their genin. That was a stupid idea, wasn't it? The team arrived at the building where they'd be examined early, wanting to scout it out and prepare as much as possible. As they ascended the stairs, Team FEAR ignored the Chunin guarding the door and proceeded to the third floor. Shino determined that they would be tested in some sort of written test once inside the examination room, so Naruto made sure to disperse some cage bunchen around the class, some sticking to the ceiling, others disguised in the floor. Shino planted some bugs on his teammates to ensure that he could communicate with them. The room quickly filled up with shinobi. The majority came from Konoha, others from the 5 great shinobi nations, and still others from smaller lands such as Kusa. Team 8 wasted some time in playful banter after the rest of the rookie teams arrived. Most of them, because Sasuke and Sakura were still enraged at them, each for different reasons. It was no surprise to the team that when a genin named Kabuto offered information on other shinobi, Sasuke wanted to know everything about Naruto. Naruto's stats, on the other hand, surprised them. Naruto, there he is. Uzumaki Naruto, teammates Hyuga Hinata and Aburame Shino. This guy is amazing. Ninjutsu and genjutsu skills are unknown, but given the team's sensei, he should be competent. High Chunin to low Junin Taijutsu, seal expert, average chakra control, but his reserves easily outmatch any pair of Kage. There are 40 D ranks, 2 C ranks, 1 B rank, and 1 A rank on the mission list. Not to mention that his team outperformed the competition in nearly all of them. If they can do this, his team must be very good. It is stated here that he possesses abilities that no one else can use, as well as a previously unseen summoning contract. He's definitely Chunin material, and possibly Junin as well. Apart from the summoning contract, Sasuke was irritated by the fact that he didn't learn much about Naruto's abilities. He marched to an interested Naruto, enraged, to obtain it. After all, he was a Uchiha. He deserved it far more than this insignificant orphan brat. Dobi, please hand over your summoning contract. Naruto simply ignored Sasuke due to the fact that his name was not Dobi. Instead, Naruto concentrated all of his attention on Kabuto. Something didn't seem right. Not only was the information he had classified, but so was something else. It was both familiar and unfamiliar. While Sasuke was trying to get Naruto's attention, he tried in vain to remember what it was. Sasuke eventually got his attention, albeit in the wrong way. In an attempt to intimidate Naruto with his Uchiha superiority, Sasuke pushed him back. Of course, when his hands fell on Naruto's immovable wall, he failed to even budge him and fell backwards himself. Naruto just looked at Sasuke, slightly surprised. "What are you doing there, Teme?" "I've been conversing with you, Dobi. Please hand over your summoning contract." "No." A straightforward response that should suffice for anyone. But Uchiha Sasuke was no ordinary person. "Give it to me," I said. "I am an elite Uchiha, and I deserve it more than you, a no-name orphan." The killer intent almost brought the room to a halt. Hinata and Shino exchanged a look that said, "Idiot." "So, Sasuke, you consider yourself an elite Uchiha, huh? So, what exactly keeps me from taking whatever it is that makes you Uchiha?" "Listen, you retarded emo brat, I don't care who your parents were, and frankly, I don't care if you go slit your wrists over not getting my summoning contract. But I'm going to maul you if you insult my family one more time. Have you got it, asshole?" Naruto shoved Sasuke to emphasize his point. Hard. As a result, Sasuke flew back to the wall, causing spider web-like cracks to appear. With a oof, Sasuke collapsed to the ground. Sakura attempted to punch Naruto after he had hit her Sasuke-kun. She almost did it as well. Almost, as Hinata deflected the blow with her own. Sakura's right arm was paralyzed by a Jiyuken strike. Sakura realized she couldn't do anything after remembering who was against her and returned to treating her fallen dark-haired prince. When the examiner walked in, Naruto barely looked at him. He was confident that his clones would inform him of any changes. Instead, he was preoccupied with determining why Kabuto was so suspicious. Naruto closed his eyes and started a simple meditation to clear his mind. It took him a while, but he remembered, Kabuto smelled like a snake. But how? He wasn't a vet, and such a scent could only be acquired through years of association with snakes. That left only two possibilities. He was either Anko's secret student or Orochimaru's servant. Naruto's eyes widened as he came to that realization. He quickly obtained all of the answers from his vanished clones and used Shino's insect allies to send a message of urgency. He only had to get to Anko and possibly Ibiki now. After all, Ibiki had previously worked with Anko and could potentially assist. Ibiki smirked, and the genin were all set to flee screaming like little girls. Scaring these newbies was a lot of fun. It was finally time to put the final nail in the coffin. He spoke again, clearing his throat. Okay, maggots. It is now time for the final question. Here are some new ground rules. You have the option of accepting it or declining it. Someone, predictably, blew up. What do you mean we can choose whether or not to take it? We will, of course. Ibiki chuckled darkly, a skill he had honed through hours of mental torture. Simple. If you don't take it, you'll walk away and try again later. If you do try it and fail, you will be a genin forever. That is not possible. There are some of us who have already taken it. Unfortunately, I am the proctor this year. You can either give up and try again next year, or you can try your luck and stay stuck forever. Ibiki smiled as his words prompted many teams to leave. He surmised that they lacked the guts to be Chunin, the guts to go knee-deep in shit and come out on top. Then something unexpected happened. The Uzumaki raised his hand. Wait, what? Ibiki wondered. Uzumaki was never defeated. Naruto had had enough of these slackers. It's time to teach them the true meaning of guts. He raised his hand and observed the examiners. He smacked his hand on the table just as someone was about to call his number. Hard. The desk cracked as a result of the force. We'll give up like hell. So what if we're always genin? We'll fulfill our dreams as genin. We don't need anything else, for God's sake. My ambition is to become powerful, and rank is unimportant to me. If necessary, I'll be the first S-ranked genin. So come on, Teme. I didn't back down against Zabuza, and I'm not going to back down against a piece of shit interrogator like yourself. Faye, a drunk Konohamaru is scarier than you, so I call BS on you. Bring it on. Give me your best shot, and I'll run you down. Ibiki was giggling on the inside. Brad is a natural leader. His little stunt restored courage to the people on the inside. He waited a while and saw that they had overcome their apprehension. Okay, maggots. It is time to inform you that you have passed. And then there's an explosion of whats and whys. He explained the meaning after a brief pause for them to calm down. The Uzumaki then intervened once more. Scarface is correct. If you lack the courage to continue, look for another job. Most of you brats believe that being a shinobi entails rescuing beautiful princesses and daimyos. Bitches, here's some good news. It ain't. It's a harsh, cold world where you'll have to kill just because someone has money. Understand, brats. Your life is neither emo black nor tree-hugging green. It's red. Red as blood. If you don't have the guts to go head first into a mission, don't even bother taking this exam, because I suspect the next round will include killing. And plenty of it. Those of you who can't stand it should go farm or something. Go hunt Tora or complete any dull D-ranked mission you want. Leave the true missions to the true shinobi, those willing to risk life and limb for their country. Ibiki was officially taken aback. The brat could see it in his eyes that he knew what he was talking about. The eyes of someone who, through sheer willpower, fought and defeated an impossibly strong opponent. Hey, the brat was amusing. It's no surprise Anko thought so highly of him. Anko, on the other hand, was late. As he finished his part of the exams, Anko concluded that he was running late. A massive Zanbatu smashed through the window, scattering glass shards everywhere. The Zanbatu became stuck in the blackboard, and a shirtless man appeared on it. Those who had anything to do with bingo books recognized them and shivered. The rest were terrified by the mere presence of the man. Even though he didn't show it, his bloodthirst was palpable. Zabuza smirked wickedly at the genin behind him. Scarface, you left quite a few of them. Are you losing your edge as you get older? It's fine, more blood will be spilled in the next round. Zabuza's face was etched with a feral grin. I'll cut them in half anyway in the second round. A deep dark chuckle fit for Orochimaru reverberated off the walls, jolting the majority of the would-be genin. Most of them were already wondering if they were going to die. Alright, you brats, follow me over there to training ground 44. Zabuza pointed to a forest patch in the distance. You only have 10 minutes, so move it. The final words finally roused the genin. Zabuza saw Naruto's grin and smirked back. It was going to be a good time. Naruto remained in the room as everyone else left, except for Zabuza and Ibiki. As he approached them, he spoke quickly, knowing he didn't have much time. Ibiki, I apologize for what I said before, but I needed the extra competition in the next part, or else I'd end up fighting people I wouldn't raise a hand against out of kinship. Not to mention that the Uchiha's pink teammate was about to flee screaming, robbing me of the chance to put the brat in his place. This, however, is unimportant. The important thing to remember is that Yakushi Kabuto smells like snakes. Not even the occasional pet-like odor. I'm talking about a deeply engraved, snake and blood odor. That means he'll have to spend a lot of time near them. Or close to someone who has snakes. Someone like Anko. Or Orochimaru, for example. I'm afraid Kabuto will turn on us. Inform Anko and Sandame. Another thing. Tell the old man to get my damnable godfather here as soon as possible. There's a chance the snake bastard has arrived and we'll need him. No, I'm not going to tell you who my godfather is. You'll find out in the third installment. The same as the rest of Konoha. I promise it will be enjoyable. I'll see you later, Ibiki and Zabuza. Naruto shunshined away in a small wind tornado after hearing these distressing news. Naruto arrived at Training Grounds 44 just in time to see Zabuza Shunshin arrive. Both he and Anko explained the exams. Naruto and his team struggled not to laugh at the sheer stupidity of some of their fellow genin. They were also supposed to be the best batch in a long time. What would the rest be like? Naruto and company signed the papers and received their scroll. Shino created clones of his insects and everyone received one. Shino's coat held the genuine scroll. In the limited time available, the team strategized a little, deciding to go for the tower first and, if possible, take out another team. If not, they'd wait for someone to come to them. They were confident enough to take on anyone, including Kabuto's experienced team. Naruto, on the other hand, warned his team about the possibility of Orochimaru's presence. But the damn bastard knew how to hide, so Naruto couldn't catch him. Naruto's team burst into the forest at a rate too fast for any animal to notice, Naruto taking point with his heat sight in hand, ready to flush out any trapper, Hinata behind him, Byakugan blazing, and Shino last, insects surrounding him creating an almost imperceptible sphere of protection and detection. The team had long known that an Aburame could defend and attack at the same time, switching modes wordlessly and seamlessly, turning an offensive move into a defensive move, confounding the opponent, pinning and draining them. Not to mention that they could keep going as long as they had insects, with their chakra increasing rather than decreasing in combat. Naruto chuckled. Haku had been caught off guard when Shino began using his insect allies. If the boy could do that to his crush, Naruto couldn't imagine what he'd do to someone who was hurting said crush. Naruto raised his hand as he ran through the forest, causing his team to land next to him on a branch. Naruto pointed ahead, using the silent communication they had devised based on the ANBU zone. 3 targets, a trap, and an eye trigger. Acceptable? Negative, silently sneak and destroy. Clone can be used to bait, circle, and attack. Pincer attack. Shino replied. Yes, their silent communication was a little lacking, but it served its purpose. Naruto made 3 clones, Hanged as his team, and they went around their enemies as planned. Hinata's Byakugan and Shino's allies had no trouble finding them. To sneak around them, Naruto used skills honed through hours of running away from Anbu, sneaking past them into their HQ, and training exercises by Anko. Hinata used similar abilities, but she used chakra to conceal them by blending them with the ambient chakra, effectively blending in with the forest around her. Shino sneaked and completed the pincer maneuver with the help of his tiny allies, as well as his own talent in the area. After all, their sights were fixed on the approaching clones, with the sounds of the forest masking the sounds of the approaching team. Naruto was the first to strike, his hand forming a crane's beak with his fingers. Sounds fruity, but trust me, it hurts like a bitch, and striking at the other person's temple. Lightly. Even a normal person could be killed with this strike, and Naruto was anything but normal. Again, I'm serious. A properly formed crane's beak can break a bone with very little exertion, and I've seen it shatter bricks easily. Hinata knocked him out with a silent but powerful gentle fist strike on the back of his neck. Shino, on the other hand, rammed a kunai butt into his target's temple. 3 soft thuds echoed, and 3 targets were eliminated. Shino discovered a second heaven scroll and gave it to Hinata, who created a second fake scroll for his team. With the second scroll in place, Naruto and his team accelerated once more and proceeded. They encountered their second encounter in a matter of hours, taking the other team in a similar manner, this time acquiring the Earth Scroll they required. Shino took the scroll as well, because he was the team member who was least likely to be injured in a fight, lowering the chances of the seal being ruined and the scroll inside being destroyed. Meanwhile, in the Forest of Death, Team 9 aka Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji witnessed Gaara squeezing the life out of an AIM nin. At the same time, a feminine or masculine-looking man sank his teeth into Sasuke's neck, causing him to black out in pain. Anko was restrained outside the training grounds by Zabuza and Ibiki, who were hell-bent on charging inside and killing Orochimaru. She didn't calm down until Zabuza spoke to her. "What's the matter with you, lady? If you charge in there, Orochimaru will kill you." The Gaki will then go insane and attack Orochimaru, killing him. "He's tough enough, but not that tough. Let the jerk go, Anko and Hokage will deal with the pedophile." "Don't you always say that vengeance is best served cold? So, please, relax." When Anko was calm enough, the group informed the Hokage, who changed the test's objective. Those who made it to the tower would pass regardless of scrolls. The Hokage could now only wait and hope. Wait for Jiraiya, the perverted writer, Orochimaru, his former apprentice, and Naruto, his adopted grandson. Maybe even wait for Shinigami, whose death had been postponed for a long time, the war-weary Hokage reasoned. Team 8 came to a halt inside the Forest of Death as a lone figure emerged from the shadows of the trees. The presence of that person alone screamed fear into the minds and hearts of the 3 genin, the feeling of death heavy on the wind. The individual advanced, revealing long, slick black hair, a pale face, and yellow, slit eyes. The individual then spoke in a sickeningly sweet, clearly mocking tone. "Well, Naruto-kun, we've finally met. I've wanted to meet you for a long time, to see how good you truly are, my dear boy. Naruto tensed, his chakra flow accelerated, and his breathing became more intensely hateful. One word came out of his mouth that terrified his teammates more than anything else. Orochimaru. Orochi. The figure chuckled, a dark mirthless laugh that sent shivers down the genin's spine. Orochimaru moved forward. Naruto's eyes turned red and slitted, increasing blood flow and transforming him into a form better suited to the half-light of a forest. Naruto narrowed his eyes, using his improved vision to confirm that Orochimaru, not a clone, was in front of them. In a way, Naruto mimicked the Inuzuka clan by sending chakra to his other senses while shifting them to a more effective form, his nostrils flaring and opening up, his ears becoming pointed. Naruto sharpened his senses to the greatest extent possible. This was terrible. Truly terrible. Naruto calmed himself down and spoke to his team, not moving a muscle except his mouth. Move, Shino and Hinata. I'll take care of you. We have no choice but to go to the tower and call for assistance. Hinata appeared perplexed, but Shino agreed. Naruto was the only one among them who had a chance of lasting long enough against such an opponent. He also realized two things. Naruto wouldn't be able to go all out with his friends present, and he didn't want Hinata to see him use Kyuubi's chakra again. Shino quickly nodded and sped away, taking Hinata with him. Hinata had only one thing to say. Promise me you'll make it through, Naruto-kun. Unfortunately for her, Shino grabbed her before she could hear Naruto's response. Naruto concentrated his entire attention on the snake Sannin. The same bitch's son who harmed his Ne-chan. Naruto snarled at his foe. Kyuubi stopped lounging around inside Naruto and aligned himself with Naruto's chakra coils. This was a formidable foe, far more powerful than anyone else, and the kid couldn't summon anyone to kill him or he'd be unable to free Anko. As a result, the kid would have to do everything himself. For the most part, the two adversaries stood motionless, neither moving. While Naruto was preparing for battle by increasing the rate of his blood flow and oxygen intake, Orochimaru was considering marking or killing this child. Naruto-kun, you are such a brave young man, looking to save your comrades. But who is going to save you? Your only allies have vanished. Don't give me that snake eyes nonsense. They weren't much help, as you know. This is a fight between monsters like you and me. Monsters, monsters, monsters. We are not beasts. We simply are, Naruto-kun. Aren't we, if anything, superior? Stronger, faster, more resilient. My dear, natural selection is why we ride horses rather than the other way around. We are, in fact, the natural rulers. We, with powers beyond their comprehension, should lead rather than be led. That's all there is to it. I see what you mean. I'd be a Hokage in a world where might makes right. However, this would imply that I would have no friends. Friends, to me, are worth my life, not just my soul. So, unfortunately, I disagree with your superiority claim. After all, you should be the one bowing to me. You are, after all, mostly human. Me? I haven't been human in quite some time. I'm becoming less and less human as I get older. Then you should accompany me. I have no issues with non-humans. In fact, I thoroughly enjoy your company. And the tests you'd put us through. I'm not accompanying you, hubby Teme. You harmed my Ne-chan, and you will die as a result. Oh, you have a sibling? Who could she be? Do I recognize her? Of course you make a snake face. Anko is her name. Naruto charged the Sannin, deciding not to reveal everything and instead relying on his fists and kicks for the time being. Of course, given that he could punch the jerk through two trees, he wasn't at all at a disadvantage. Orochimaru dodged to the right to avoid the punch, which was a good one. Most Chunin would have a broken jaw by now. Naruto spun on his right leg and delivered a left punch to Orochimaru, which he avoided by ducking under it. Naruto continued the spin by launching his left leg into a low kick, and when it missed, he spun even faster, made a 360-degree turn, lowered his left foot, and lashed out with his right. Orochimaru was taken aback. This kid was quick, with powerful, crisp blows, maintaining a combo of assaults against a dodging opponent while cornering him so he couldn't dodge. Orochimaru relaxed his guard after Naruto's later spin, engrossed in his thoughts. When Kyuubi saw it, he ordered every muscle in Naruto's incoming left arm to go into overdrive, allowing Naruto to gain strength exponentially. Crunch. The resulting punch sent Orochimaru through a tree, the sound of broken bone filling the air. This brat. He's not only fast, but also incredibly strong. He reminds me of Tsunade. Worse, he didn't even use chakra to boost his blow. This could become hazardous. But not just yet. Not yet. Naruto was disgusted as Orochimaru changed skins while repairing the damage. Naruto-kun, that wasn't very nice, was it? But I'm curious why someone as obviously talented as you would still be a genin. After all, that punch had actually hurt me. Because I want to. Because I am Naruto Uzumaki. Because I am unlike everyone else. Talent, strength, jutsu. None of these things matter. What counts as determination? The determination to triumph over all odds. The determination to fight even when the odds are stacked against you. That is why, Orochimaru, I will defeat you. That is why I will triumph. Orochimaru smirked wryly. This child was very intriguing. To have taken all of that abuse and still respond in this manner. Orochimaru's scientific mind was piqued. He desired him even more now. Naruto and Orochimaru clashed once more, with Orochimaru striking first. Naruto dodged left and right, his spine bending to unfathomable proportions, only to counter with all of his limbs equally. Orochimaru moved like a snake through spiked plants, weaving and parrying his opponent's blows. This child clearly knew his fighting style, implying that Anko had taught him. But it was his eyes that took me by surprise. He was aware of it. Orochimaru noticed Naruto knew he couldn't win, but he persisted. For what was he fighting? How could he fight so vehemently? How could he be fearless? No, he felt fear. But he had overcome it. It made no difference if there was fear. No, it didn't make a difference. This child found strength in his fear. The more terrified he became, the more courageous he became, overwhelming everything in his path. It was impressive to the snake Sanin. It was unheard of for someone this young to be able to do something like this. These damnable eyes reminded him of Jiraiya, his despised teammate, and Minato, his even despised rival for the Hokage position. Orochimaru saw, not just saw, but felt, that this child would not follow him. This child would not become his servant. Instead, he would fight and possibly kill him. That is, if he was unmarked. However, the marking had not yet occurred. He needed to see more of this child to understand why he should prefer him to Sasuke's Sharingan. The two warriors stood up, slightly exhausted. We've had our warm-up, Orochimaru. Now let's get serious. I'm confident you're stronger than this. Naruto-kun, you're so powerful. So much more impressive than anyone else I've met. Perhaps even more powerful than Sasuke-kun. Don't put me on the same level as that wuss. He is only alive because of his Sharingan. Naruto-kun, this is so true. So, shall we proceed? I'd love to see your abilities. Naruto was concerned. He appeared to be powerful, but he knew he couldn't win. He couldn't defeat Orochimaru. Of course, that didn't mean he wouldn't leave the bastard with some mementos. He just wanted to set Anko free. The way things were going, he'd have to go all out. Kill or be killed. And Anko would pay for it. Knowing what Anko would say, he crushed the feelings and closed his eyes. As seals were cancelled over his body, chakra swirled. Restraints were removed, and power flowed through him. Okay, Orochimaru. You requested it. Allow me to demonstrate the power I gained 5 years ago. The power that dehumanizes me more than any Jinchuriki. The power that cursed and saved me. Mugen Shinka, infinite evolution is the name I give to this power. Orochimaru could only stare as Naruto opened his eyes.
Naruto's arms began to shift, forming bladed, serrated arms where there had previously only been smooth flesh, the black, matte bone contrasting sharply with Naruto's tanned skin.
Was it his eyes that lost their pupil, or was it the pupil that dilated so much that it took over the entire eye? Naruto's backbone shook with knees and bones bending, reforming, and reconfiguring, as well as the sound of cloth being torn and a tail emerging. Not your typical tail. This one appeared segmented, with blades held in place by a powerful central muscle surrounded by nerves. It was quite a disturbing sight. Naruto firmly planted his bladed tips on the ground. His jaw shifted, allowing for a better bite, and his teeth turned into fangs. He spoke in a growling, difficult-to-understand voice. "Su? Do you like it? Orochimaru?" Orochimaru was impressed and drooling. He desired to have this child serve and fight. Oh, the pure, beautiful brutality of this being. He could feel himself trembling with desire to see this beautiful monster unleashed against helpless weaklings. He could be the most powerful weapon ever. Oh, if he only had the Sharingan. He'd have unimaginable power. Oh, the slaughter. The agony. The might. This child would be marked by Orochimaru. Orochimaru drew his Kusanagi blade, knowing that any ordinary weapon would shatter on Naruto's bones, and prepared to fight. Naruto charged Orochimaru, blades held back and to the side. A few steps before meeting him, he sped up and jumped over the snake user, twirling midair and stabbing, raking his blades towards the collarbone. Orochimaru, for his part, twirled around, blocking with the Kusanagi before delivering a powerful kick to Naruto's midsection. Naruto managed to block it in time before lashing out with his own kick, which was also blocked. Naruto skidded to the ground and charged once more. It was time to call in the big guns. He rushed forward, twisting his body midair to recreate the drill-like attack he used back in Wave. He knew what he was doing this time, charging his arm blades with Fudan chakra and creating a cocoon of wind around him. Shikyo Doriru means death drill. Orochimaru realized that blocking this was just as bad as facing it head-on, so he ducked to the side, only for Naruto to lash out with his blades, missing again, ramming his hand on the ground, and continuing the spin with a lashing right hand. Orochimaru was impressed. This combo may not have worked on him, but it would have knocked out almost any Junin. And Konoha had this amazing child as a genin? It was ridiculous. He should be in charge of the journey. The snake user reared his hand and leapt over a recovering Naruto. Many poisonous and constricting snakes shot forth. Senetajashu. Many snakes hid in hand. Naruto looked around at the rain of snakes. He recreated his cocoon by spreading his blades to the side and spinning wildly. Yeba Jiten. Spin the blade. Naruto's spinning technique, true to its name, created a tornado of wind blades around him, shredding the snakes before they even got close. Orochimaru responded with some quick hand seals. Gokakyu no Jutsu, Kaden. Fire style. Outstanding fireball technique. Naruto drew his spinning chakra and gathered it at his feet, compressing it and then exploding it. He was propelled upwards by the blast to the descending snake Sanin. Naruto crossed his swords in front of him and slashed in an X formation, leaving no room for dodging. Unfortunately, Orochimaru had enough time to escape using a kawarimi. Naruto's tail lashed out and grabbed a branch, whipping around and positioning Naruto on the branch. Excellent work, Naruto-kun. Very impressive, indeed. You've got most Junin beat. Hey, you're aware that Anko is a slave driver, right? She'd be 100 times worse with Zabuza on her side. Especially when I allow her to. Oh, and I was wondering where my ex-disciple was. It's good to hear from her after so long. Naruto-kun, has she improved in any way? I'm hoping she doesn't let me down. Faye, she and Zabuza give me a better workout than you have. At the very least, they make me sweat. Naruto hadn't even started sweating, as Orochimaru noticed. The child must be insanely strong. That's fantastic news. So, shall we begin? With delight, Snake Eyes. Neither combatant moved while they spoke. Orochimaru had prepared a couple of Tsuchi Bunshin without seals just in case. Regrettably for him, Naruto's heat sight detected them and prepared countermeasures. Flashback. Okay, brat, let me teach you something. Hand seals aren't required for ninjutsu. You can even perform it without them if you have enough practice with one. Of course, it will be difficult, tiring, and not nearly as effective, but it is possible. Keep that in mind for when you need it, okay? Anko said this while using a variety of poisons on Naruto in order to increase his pain threshold. Finish the flashback. Naruto expended a large amount of chakra to create a slew of Kage Bunshin. Orochimaru was perplexed by the chakra burst but quickly calmed himself down because nothing seemed wrong. Maybe Naruto was trying to counteract Kyuubi's influence by flaring his chakra to fight the Ukai? That was a distinct possibility. Orochimaru tensed his muscles and leapt at Naruto, Kusanagi flashing silver in a dazzling display. Naruto countered by defending with his two-bladed arms and striking back with his tail, keeping the fight balanced. He was aware, however, that Orochimaru was still only playing with him and had not yet used any kinjutsu. If anyone had been watching the fight, they would have kept their jaws open. Both combatants were fighting at breakneck speeds that would make Junin jealous. To the clashing warriors, observing, planning, and executing became instantaneous procedures. As Kusanagi nicked Naruto's tail, sparks flew, only for the blades to come at an underbelly slash, which Orochimaru avoided by bending like a snake. Naruto took advantage of the brief respite and pressed on, crouching and pivoting to place himself under the Kusanagi sword. Meanwhile, his tail was wrapped around the legendary blade, securing it. With the other blade rising to sever Orochimaru's arm, Naruto spun up to a rising stabbing motion to impale Orochimaru. They both missed as Orochimaru used Naruto's tail as a counterweight to leap up above it and kick him. Naruto flicked his tail, destabilizing Orochimaru and causing him to miss, smashing Orochimaru into the ground as a bonus. Naruto redirected his previously stabbing arm into a downward futon-infused slash. When Orochimaru dodged, Naruto used his other hand to make a slash across his previous one, leaving Orochimaru with no choice but to let go of the sword or become snake fillet. Orochimaru rolled to the side and made a pulling motion with his palm, causing the Kusanagi sword to be wrenched free as if by an invisible force and fly to his hand. Before Orochimaru chose to charge again, Naruto regained his composure. Naruto charged at Orochimaru, both warriors slashing madly at each other before disengaging, jumping around for better ground, only to charge again, ignoring the growing tiredness in their muscles. Orochimaru hadn't felt this good in a long time. When he fought the legendary salamander Hanzo, leader of a Megacure, the only man to have defeated the three legendary Sannin on his own, he cut ties with the Konoha weaklings. Naruto yelled at Orochimaru, revealing his feelings for the snake Sannin. Orochimaru could feel and taste Naruto's rage and cold hatred. Such lovely hatred. Naruto charged once more, knowing that if he let Orochimaru stay at long range, he'd be dead. Meanwhile, Shino and Hinata are together. The two run as fast as they can, feeling the urgency, fear, and sadness. Hinata asked Kami to protect Naruto. She prayed long and hard to Inari, Kami, and every Kami in the universe to help Naruto survive this battle. As Hinata prayed, something inside her snapped. She would never run away again. The next time that jerk showed up, he'd be the one running, not she. Hinata felt a cold rage wash over her. She would not let that pedophile hurt Naruto-kun. If he harmed him in any way, she'd prove that hell hath no fury like a woman enraged. Shino-kun. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm not going to run away any longer. If Naruto-kun is still alive when we get help, I swear I will never run away again. Only my enemies will flee. Only those who dare to hurt my few important people will be punished. I must admit that, despite the fact that it is the most logical choice, I am somewhat ashamed of abandoning Naruto. I'm afraid I won't be able to keep such a promise, so I won't insult you by making it, but I will never again allow anyone to hurt someone as close to me as Naruto, you, or Haku. The duo accelerated, the urgency boosting chakra. The tower stood ahead of them. Just a little more. Just a little bit more, and Naruto would have the assistance he so desperately required. The sound of rustling leaves ahead of them warned them that someone was approaching quickly. Naruto's improved blades struck the Kusanagi repeatedly, with Orochimaru's expertise and sheer experience keeping him safe when most people would have succumbed to Naruto's relentless assault. It was a beautiful offensive combo that began 2 minutes ago, and Orochimaru couldn't find the time to counterattack without losing an arm at best. Worse, or better, depending on who you ask, Orochimaru knew Naruto hadn't planned all of these blows. He was improvising, making up new attacks as the previous one was deflected, and maintaining a pace that any normal person would struggle to keep up with. Inside, Orochimaru smirked. This body's bloodline was extremely useful. Cell regeneration and increased stamina, combined with Orochimaru's own experiments, resulted in a formidable foe. Even his body had limits, and Orochimaru knew he had to make a move soon. Orochimaru's fortunes began to deteriorate at that point. Orochimaru risked placing a seal on the boy, believing that the red, slitted eyes Naruto now possessed in the immense ki were the result of Kyuubi's influence. The seal would normally only limit the brat's use of elemental jutsu, but if placed on someone with a biju inside, it would immediately disconnect them from the biju's power source. Orochimaru raised his hand, 5 blue flames erupting over his fingertips, each bearing the kanji of an element, and struck them on Naruto's belly, demonstrating his superior expertise, speed, and flexibility. Gogyo Fuin. Naruto's wind blades vanished almost instantly, and Orochimaru jumped back, expecting the boy to collapse. Naruto then laughed. Is that everything, Oroteme? Should I limit my elemental usage? Or do you want to limit my access to Kyuubi's Yukai? Fool. I was never drawing on it to begin with. Do you think your pitiful seal, made entirely of human chakra, can withstand Kyuubi's Yukai? Let me show you where you're going wrong, fool. Kyuubi's power gathered around Naruto's belly with a roar of power. It appears that the fool was unaware that the seal in his gut was ineffective. Kyuubi's power was not contained within Naruto. Kyuubi had chosen to be inside Naruto. It was retaliation time, thought Naruto. Orochimaru shielded his eyes with his hand as an explosion of red chakra erupted from Naruto's stomach, completely destroying the 5 elemental seal. So that was Kyuubi's ability? It was truly breathtaking. If something was entirely composed of this attack, it's no surprise Konoha was nearly destroyed. This is the Kyuubi's power. And you just made a blunder. You managed to irritate him. Good luck with this, Baka. Naruto was blasted forward before Orochimaru could gather his thoughts, using the much superior Yukai of the Kyuubi to move at speeds faster than he had ever done before, reaching Orochimaru before the snake user could react. Cage Bunshins jumped from all around him, sending his opponent flying with a rising kick. Orochimaru had barely had time to think, OSH*T, before he realized he was out in the open, surrounded by what appeared to be dozens of Naruto clones, their hands normal but cocked back as if preparing something. As one of the clones shouted, the others wiped their hands forward. Fuuton. Rin Dai Ks. Wind style. Excellent wind ring. As a result, what appeared to be disc-shaped air displacements converged on Orochimaru. He barely had time to recognize the discs as powerful, disc-shaped wind jutsu and spin himself in the air like a snake in spasms, avoiding most. Some still stung him. At the very least, it was over. Or so he thought, until he noticed a shadow above him. Looking up, he saw the real Naruto, his bladed arm raised above his head, producing so much chakra that Orochimaru was stunned for a moment before realizing he needed to move quickly or die. As Orochimaru avoided most of the wind rings, Naruto clicked his tongue in rage, but the combo wasn't over. He reared his right hand up, leaping above the snake bastard, and began channeling Futon chakra into it. It formed a massive wind blade, extending his reach by about 10 meters, 32 feet, and made a single downward slash, fully intending to cut the bastard in half. K's Setsudanki. Orochimaru desperately twisted, knowing what would happen if he didn't, in order to avoid being cut in half. That is, only half of the way up. He didn't have time to get out of the way and was severed at the hip. Naruto watched with delight at first, then horror as snakes appeared to erupt from the two severed halves, intertwining and bringing them back. Orochimaru appeared to be unharmed when Naruto fell back down. Orochimaru was forced to shed another skin to recover from the multiple cuts of the wind rings, keeping in mind not to get blown sky high again, or he may not survive this again. Not to mention that he was out of skins to shed. Damn this jerk. Now he'd have to do the marking. Orochimaru smirked proudly. Congratulations, Naruto-kun. That almost got me as well. Such raw talent, how come you don't have the Sharingan? Then you'd be my ideal vessel. You snake bastard, as if I'd become your vessel. I'd rather die than be your asshole. Such a rough language. So crude. I'm curious if you're like Tayuya. Enough with the temerity. It is not yet over. Then Naruto spoke to him in his mind. I need to go faster. Much faster. Much faster. 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 Kyuubi, who was inside Naruto, had complete knowledge of Naruto's bodily functions and smirked. This was going to be a lot of fun. The kit was finally successful. Naruto's two hearts began to beat faster and faster, synchronizing and sending an unending flow of blood to his muscles. Limiters that prevented Naruto from using the full extent of his power were slowly lifted in his mind. Blood flowed through Naruto's body, energizing him and making him feel incredibly strong. Orochimaru watched in awe as Naruto turned blood red and his veins protruded. Then he remembered something he saw another Konoha Junin do. His name was Maeda Guy, and he had opened the 8 celestial gates. Orochimaru's eyes widened as he realized this, and before he could say, "Oh crap," he was attacked by an enraged, Yukai-powered Naruto who could use his muscles to the fullest. Left, right, left, low slash, high kick, overhead slash, straight kick, bladed uppercut, roundhouse kick, scissor kick, blades from both right and left, a blur to the naked eye. Orochimaru's experience and flexibility were the only things that kept him alive against this barrage of attacks, this never-ending assault that sent tens of strikes in a single second. Orochimaru realized that attacking now would be suicidal, even for him, so he chose to outlast his opponent, knowing that it would quickly tire him out. When the seconds passed and his opponent showed no signs of slowing down, Orochimaru began to panic. If the brat's Kekkei Genkai meant literally, it meant he could keep it up for minutes. If that happened, even Orochimaru's nearly indestructible body would succumb and fail. Orochimaru was enraged at the prospect of death. He was a god. A being who had manipulated both time and space. He'd never fall from a snot-nosed brat. He flatly refused to die. Naruto finally ran out of energy after 20 seconds of blows that sent Orochimaru reeling with their fierceness and speed. That gave Orochimaru a sigh of relief. Naruto fell to his knees, his blades supporting him. He wondered aloud what the hell that was. If he could figure out how to control this, he might be able to defeat the snake bastard and free Anko. Kyuubi chuckled inside. The kid had discovered a way to become unbelievably strong in an instant, and all he could think about was how he could protect others. Naruto Kyuubi concluded, it was what made Naruto so. Nothing would surprise him any longer, the ancient being decided. Orochimaru had had enough surprises to keep him entertained for years. He made a hadseal and used his elongated neck to bite a struggling Naruto on the neck, deciding to end the fight now. Naruto, who was desperately attempting to stand up, was bit on the neck. The agony. The pain was unbearable. He felt as if solid fire was coursing through his veins. Naruto knew that most people would have passed out by now. Naruto, on the other hand, was not like most people. Using his left arm, which had reverted to a hand, he grabbed Orochimaru's head and held it against his neck. He then lifted his right bladed arm. Orochimaru was expecting the boy to pass out. His contented smile was shattered when he felt a hand roughly grab and immobilize his head over Naruto's neck. It was a disaster. A blade then flashed downwards. Blood splattered in the clearing Naruto and Orochimaru had made during their fight. A severed head lay next to Naruto on the ground. It was the head of Orochimaru. The flesh and skin then appeared to melt off the head and flow into the ground, forming a puddle and revealing a snake's head. Before he saw the elongated neck shorten and do something as heinous as what happened to the severed head, Naruto cursed. In some perverted, gross, malformed, and insane perversion of birth, Orochimaru's head seemed to start pushing outwards from the now severed neck of the snake Sannin. A huge bulge appeared in the neck, followed by the hair, the pale forehead, the snake-like eyes, complete with makeup, and the smirking face. Naruto cursed as he struggled to his feet. The pain was excruciating. Orochimaru grinned darkly. "You'll come looking for me. You'll come after me for power, Naruto-kun. You will come to me and serve as my devoted weapon. Naruto-kun, until next time." So the snake Sannin melted into the ground, smirking confidently. He never noticed Naruto's smirk. "I'll try as hard as I can, but thank you. You've just saved my life. Hey. It hurts, Kami. Now we must proceed to the tower." A shadowy figure landed in front of Naruto as he turned to face the tower, fighting the urge to just lie down and sleep his pain away. Before realizing who it was, Naruto raised his right-bladed arm at the figure. "Neko-san. It's great to see you guys here. I fought the effing snake bastard. Please. Take me to the tower, where my team should be." The cat-masked Anbu nodded and raised a hand to heal Naruto's minor injuries and alleviate his pain. "Naruto-san is someone I know. I ran into them on the way. We were tasked with retrieving all of the genin. You're in pain, so I'll take care of it and put you to sleep." "No. Don't. Don't relieve it, and don't let me sleep for Kami's sake. The agony is caused by Orochimaru's cursed seal. Don't make the pain go away. Increase it if possible to keep me awake. Naruto-san. If this is the cursed mark, you don't get it. Let's go, and I'll explain everything along the way. The discomfort will keep me awake." My tenant is already hard at work on the mark. He's taking care of it because neither of us likes being controlled. There's also another reason. Do you see my arm? It's in my blood. It helps me grow and overcome adversity. I'll fight and defeat the cursed seal. Then perhaps I'll be able to remove it from other people. The Hokage is aware. Just don't take away the pain. If I sleep, the mark may gain access to my subconscious and use my hatred. If that happens, I might succumb to the snake's influence, so keep me awake until I defeat that jerk. I still believe that, Naruto-san. You are, without a doubt, intelligent, Neko-san. But I'm not quite human, am I? Besides, I know a lot more about seals than you do. After all, I've finished several of Yandaime's seals. Sama's you can inquire with Hokage-sama. So, please, don't take away my pain by keeping me away. If necessary, stab me in the gut with your ninjutsu. It will not kill me. Simply keep me awake. I can't sleep. Not until I get rid of that damned bastard. Very well, Naruto-san, I will do so, but if Hokage-sama insists, I will follow through. Yeah, I know. Thank you for assisting me, Neko-san. You have my admiration for that. I owe you something. The Anbu used multiple leaf shunshin to quickly transport Naruto to the tower, where he would be safe. She had never seen Otto Junin-sensei. Or his malicious yellow slitted eyes.
That's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more awesome stories like this. Thank you. See you all in my next video.